What's up, guys? I'm Chris Spags here, back with another Four Corners for today's 14-game MLB main slate, courtesy of Awesemo.com. After a few days of getting tilted by the NFL, it's time to return to America's pastime of Major League Baseball, so let's start that relationship on the right foot. Right now, please like this video, and if you want to win a free month of Awesemo Plus, like the video and comment your double dong pick down below. In our last video, we did have somebody who got it correct, and I'll announce that winner a little bit later on. So right now, please like this video and comment your double dong pick down below. But let's get on to our first corner on today's slate, the top pitching, and Trevor Bauer against Seattle should be the top owned option industry-wide, and Bauer gets 4.3 implied runs against him. Bauer projects well at good prices with a solid 27.5% K rate, and while Seattle is a 194 ISO versus right-hand pitching on the year, they offer a shot at big production with their 25.7% K rate. Bauer projects well and the price is reasonable, so against a Seattle team who does have some dangerous power, but also strikes out pretty well, and a park that's going to inhibit that power. Seems like a nice spot to go to Bauer today, even though he's going to be probably very chalky. Walker Buehler at Baltimore looks like a good pay-up option today with 3.8 implied runs against him. Buehler's 1 whip and 3.3 xFIP with a 30% K rate and just a 131 ISO allowed looks solid, despite the park downgrade with only one hitter in Baltimore's projected lineup over a 196 ISO. Even though he's perhaps a bit under the radar, Buehler's been one of the best pitchers in the league this year. The spot in Baltimore, despite being a good power park, seems like a decent one for him given how little power he gives up. And Chase Anderson at Miami should also find some ownership with the 3.7 implied runs against him, which are a slate low. Anderson gets a big park upgrade at a solid price on SP2 sites with mostly middling numbers, but a Miami projected lineup with a 26.2% K rate and 113 ISO versus right-hand pitching will offer him a good shot. Anderson's cheap going against Miami in Miami, so the spot is a good one for Anderson, who also will help you afford some higher priced pitching and bats. Now on to our next corner, the top stacks on the slate, and the St. Louis stack versus Chichi Gonzalez is going to be a popular one today. St. Louis gets 7.2 implied runs, which are slate high, and Chichi is allowed a 1.7 whip and 6.1 xFIP that has survived outside of Coors, but will be tough to not get blown up now that he's back home. Chichi's 12% K rate is not good despite a St. Louis projected lineup with a 150 ISO versus right-hand pitching, and left-handed batters should benefit even more with Chichi's 2.2 whip and 8.2 xFIP to that side of the plate. St. Louis's prices aren't that bad going against Chichi, a pitcher who's really shown nothing at home this year. St. Louis is going to be very popular, but they do seem worth that exposure today. And a Dodger stack versus Ty Block should also find some ownership today with 6.3 implied runs for them. Block has been worse in 2019 with a 2.2 whip and a 6.7 xFIP with just a 14% K rate that could be deadly in a power park versus the Dodgers' 204 ISO versus left-hand pitching. The Dodgers' right-handed batters are priced up from the matchup, but 6 hitters over a 202 ISO versus lefties in their projected lineup offer solid top stack potential. There's one guy in particular I like who I'll talk about in the one-offs, but Ty Block's been bad enough that this Dodgers stack could get there today, even though the right-hand hitters are not quite as impressive as the Dodgers lefties. And a Colorado stack versus Michael Wacha should also find some ownership with 6.3 implied runs for them. Wacha's 182 ISO allowed and 8% barrel ball rate gives a Colorado lineup who's mediocre versus right-hand pitching good opportunity and a big park downgrade for Wacha. Wacha has been worse versus right-handed batters with a 1.5 whip and a 203 ISO allowed, so Trevor Story and Nolan Arenado could be worth high prices in an overall meh Colorado lineup. Colorado's been pretty mediocre on the year, but Michael Wacha's given up power in a much better park in St. Louis. Now that he's in Colorado, he has a very high probability of getting blown up by the Rockies today. And now into our next corner, the lower owned options on the slate, and the Cleveland stack versus Jose Suarez jumped out to me. Cleveland gets 5 implied runs, and Suarez continues to be hideous versus right-handed batters with a 1.9 whip and 7.5 xFIP, as well as a 277 ISO allowed. Cleveland should bring a righty-heavy projected lineup with big potential with a 186 ISO and a positive power park at the Angels Stadium. The lefty Suarez has shown really poor ability versus righties on the year, so the spot versus Cleveland is a good one, and one that should technically be a bit of an upgrade given the power that's been at Angel Stadium this year. Zach Wheeler versus Arizona interests me a bit with the 3.8 implied runs against him. Wheeler is at an awkward price, but with a chalk cheaper Trevor Bauer, his ability to pitch deep into games and limit damage could be a valuable pivot if Bauer does get blown up. Wheeler's 22.9% K rate is average against an Arizona projected lineup with a 20.3% K rate, but the 116 ISO he allows offers solid opportunity to avoid getting blown up. Arizona is not the best hitting team versus righties, and Wheeler's been pretty solid on the year, so the spot looks like a good one for Wheeler at a price point that I'd imagine a lot of people won't land on. And a Cincinnati stack versus Justice Sheffield looks a little bit interesting with the 4.7 implied runs for them. Sheffield showed signs of life in his last start, but overall still has a 1.9 whip and 230 ISO allowed in a limited MLB sample size. 7 hitters over a 106 WRC plus versus left-hand pitching, and Cincinnati's projected lineup is a bit interesting, even though the highly rated prospect Sheffield is probably due for some more positive regression. It is definitely a park downgrade for Cincinnati, but the spot versus Sheffield, the guy who's been not that great in his major league starts so far, seems like one where they could create some production today. And Max Fried at Philly looks pretty good to me with the 4.5 implied runs against him. Fried's K rate is up to 25.1% with a low 22.1% fly ball rate and 136 ISO allowed against a not terrifying Philly lineup. Philly's 22.2% K rate versus left-hand pitching isn't the best, but with Fried's price reasonable and over 9 Ks in his last 2 starts, it seems like Fried could make something happen today. I like what Fried's shown down the stretch, and Philly is not a team who's shown that upside that we thought they would have in the beginning of the year. It seems like it could be a nice spot for Fried and not much ownership expected. And now onto our last corner, the one-offs, and Justin Turner versus versus high block is one that jumped out to me. Turner is expensive, but his 274 ISO versus left-hand pitching with blocks, poor ability overall in the year, and a power park are a good opportunity for Justin Turner today. Turner is a pay-up option with guys like David Freese even more expensive on most of the sites. Seems like a spot where Turner actually might be undervalued in this Dodger lineup. And Christian Yelich versus Eliezer Hernandez jumped out to me as a one-off. It's a big park downgrade, but Yelich has an unreal 324 ISO and 180 WRC plus versus right-hand pitching, while Eliezer struggles versus left-handed batters with a 283 ISO and 6.9 xFIP allowed. We've seen Eliezer get blown up by lefty-heavy lineups even at Miami, so the spot from Milwaukee overall could be good, but either way, I do think Yelich is in a really nice spot and worth paying his premium price for despite being at Miami. And Nick Solak versus Ryan Yarbrough interests me as a value one-off. Solak is cheap despite a 320 ISO and 165 WRC plus versus left-hand pitching in a limited sample size on what is a 94-degree Texas day. Texas has one of the few parks out there that still has the summer heat that's going to help out the hitters. With that and Solak's discount price, I think the spot's a nice one for him, even though Yarbrough's not that bad overall. So there you have it. Those are my thoughts on today's slate. So right now, please like this video, and if you want to win a free month of Osmo Plus, like the video and comment your double dong pick down below. In our last four corners on Friday, one guy guessed the double dong correctly, and you can see him on the screen right here, Shawnee Mack with Willie Calhoun. So Shawnee, email me at chris@osmo.com to collect your prize. For everybody else, if you want to join Shawnee Mack at the pay window, right now, like this video and comment your double dong pick down below. But if you don't want to wait for a W in these dying days of our double dong free months, you can also use this promo code Switch and Hedge for half off your first month of Osmo Plus. Get an all access pass, so you're getting yourself some NFL and some MLB content, all the ownership projections and player projections to help you build lineups. So right now, use this promo code Switch and Hedge and go check out all the offers that we have at osmo.com/join. Go follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Chris Spags. I'm putting out a ton of content for both MLB and NFL this year. Got my columnist Slant and Go coming out a little bit later today for the NFL, as well as some more videos. So right now, go follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Chris Spags. As a reminder, with NFL season going on, the four corners will only be on days in which there isn't a Monday, Thursday NFL showdown slate. So keep your eyes peeled on those days for the four corners video. And that means I will be back tomorrow. So thank you guys for watching. And of course, good luck.